Hi, this is Sean Weaver with Six String Country, and in this lesson we'll be starting out the blues guitar series. And right off the bat, first thing I wanted to get your hands around is some various string bending techniques. So I've played a solo over 12-bar blues, taking a couple passes, and it's a straight eighth groove. There's a lot of great grooves within the blues. They're not all shuffles. They're not even all 12-bar blues, but this certainly is. But, you know, I Ain't Superstitious by Willie Dixon has this kind of groove. There's also Crosscut Saw by Albert King has a straight eighth groove that's over a 12-bar blues. There's a lot of examples. But I'll be showing you rhythm and lead techniques, focusing a lot more on the lead techniques. And all about string bending here, we're going to take a look at really 6 different kinds of string bending techniques after we just talk about the mechanics of basic getting a string to bend to a pitch. So throughout this lesson and the solo I played, I'll be showing you how to bend a string just up in pitch, just starting with a fretted normal note, and then how to bend the string up and release it so it returns to pitch, then how to pre-bend a string so that you start out with the note already bent, and then once you get that, how to have a pre-bend and then keep pushing that string either up to another pitch or return it down. How to also do some double string bending, you know, bend 2 strings at once. And then there's a quintessential thing Hendrix did very often where it's like a double reverse bend. He bends 1 string up and then the other one is reversed. It's one string goes up, the other goes down sort of deal. So that's a great sound. So we'll be looking at all of those techniques throughout this, and I'll be showing you my solo in detail. In this first video, we'll be taking a look at bending and some of the techniques for bending the string, building on things that Eric talks about in his video here on the Six String Country website, and also expanding on that. There's a lot of ways and reasons to bend a string, and I want to get you into some of the minutiae of it, but also start with a fairly basic description for those of you just getting into this and those coming here from the video Eric has here on the website. And you can tell that because if I fret that note up, hear the difference? It goes 1, 2, 3. I'm arbitrarily giving those numbers, not in any kind of scale degree meaning, but just in terms of the pitches you're hearing pitch 1, pitch 2, pitch 3, right? So those are 3 distinct pitches. In Western music notation, there's nothing on a staff of music that you can go, I'm notating that. That's why all through these transcriptions of the solos I played, and this is common when you're checking out guitar books and stuff, you just see, like you would see that note indicated with a little arrow going up that says 1/4, and that just means a quarter tone bend, because that's all it is. So I would start first with a quarter tone bend. Try to get your hands used to doing that on each finger. Try it then with your second finger. In the rhythm guitar part, it's really just doing a lot of dominant 7th chords, and again, this is not a theory lesson, so that's the most theory I'm gonna give to you here. I don't want to bog anyone down. We're playing blues guitar. This is not Giant Steps by John Coltrane. But it's very common. This is definitely a lead guitar course, and you know the focus here has been and should be on that aspect and on the string bending techniques. So I'm gonna go through this rhythm guitar part: E7. D7, A7, and a lot of times they'll go, you know, you're hitting that E7 chord to lead back. You don't always have to do that. you can just hang out on the 1, which I did there too. That's also, that's actually what happens on I Ain't Superstitious by Willie Dixon. They just hang out on the 1. You can just hang out on the 1 and go into the next cycle. There's a time for kind of all of it. But in any event, that's, you got that phrase in the back half of measure 12, and you go back into 13, it's the same. And maybe like right about tempo, it's here. So in this video, we're taking a look at what I played as a lead guitar solo over this groove. And you can do this with a pick or without. I played it without. And of course, this is not a fingerstyle guitar lesson by any stretch. A lot of times playing blues guitar, I drop the pick. And a lot of the great blues guitar players did that. Now, B.B. always used a pick. But Hubert Sumlin played with Howlin' Wolf. One of my favorites. He didn't use the pick, you know. But I'm going to be sticking in this position. Really for the first full 12 bars. So you don't need a lot of knowledge of scales or working the whole neck of the guitar to do this jam along here. But we're going to start out, and I am bending into some major notes here. So I'm starting out here with my index finger at the 5th fret. And I'm going up a half step, just like we talked about in the previous video in this lesson. You know, you start out on the 3rd string and, you know, go gradually from quarter step to half step to full step, so forth. So I started out with a nice half step bend on the, and that wrist is rotating, just like Eric's video here on the website talks about. So all of this is meant to, I'm building on what Eric and Tony spoke about, but definitely, you know, review their videos if you have any questions about any of this, because they cover a lot of good stuff too. So half step bend, and then you're just going to stay in the 5th fret with the index finger and go 2nd string, 1st string. And then back to the 8th fret, and you can pull off to the 5th fret. So that's the first phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4.